Okay, guys, we got a new developer's note, and they are absolutely insane. This is one of the biggest nerfs we ever got in Chaos Zero Nightmare up to date. The way the developer's note start is on a positive note. Since we need to make some adjustments, we are going to get compensation, free pools, free sorting materials. Let's go. Then we start with the nerfs. And this one is very relevant. The max stacks of morale, 40 and resolve, will be limited to 15. I've seen some meme showcases with people stacking fortitude forever, people stacking resolve forever to have endless shield, and the sort of stuff. But the true bummer is, of course, morale, because there are some combatants that really benefit from having a lot of morale stacks, and there are some save files that we farmed, especially in Season 3, but even before then, where we could easily stack more than 20-30 stacks of morale among the multiple combatants, to huge benefit for combatants like Faye, who has just been released, but also Sereniel, but also Yuki, but also Luke, and so on. So, big nerf, very, very big nerf. Then we go to the second nerf, which is going to be very noticeable for some synergies specific decks that rely on having an endless discard pile and then even reshuffle or get rid of those cards for Giga Nukes. It's a mechanic that they want to remove from the game. They nerfed it, although, to be honest, I thought the 200 is still a huge amount, so it's not a big nerf. Like, limiting morale to 15 is way more impactful than limiting the discard pile to 200, but whatever. Core mutation improvement, so we proceed on a positive note. In case you have not experimented with the core mutation at all, the way it will change is that when applying a mutation, we will be given the opportunity of keeping the old one. So, if the new one is useless, you can stick to the old one. And more importantly, it will be easier to purchase them from the shop because we can buy 10 of them at a discounted price. And the mutation themselves improve a lot. Like, all of them get buffed. Basically, they didn't like the fact that the gap between level 1 and level 4 felt like level 1 was absolutely useless, so they buffed all of them from level 1 to level 4. Pretty good. Pretty good overall. You can check all of them, one by one. There is nothing game breaking, but considering that it's an extra on our save files, it's definitely welcome. It goes from underwhelming and difficult to get to, it's much better. So pretty sweet. Then, most combatants get some buffs or some slight changes. One gets a big nerf. And most of these changes are to ego manifestations, so they will not impact most players. Renoa got some buffs in her cards. Luke got some buffs in his cards, ego manifestation and ego skill. And Kairon got a buff. Calipe got a few buffs. Hugo got a few buffs. Lucas got a few, but nothing game changing at the moment. So I don't want to go one by one because telling you, it goes from 120 to 140%, you're not going to get a soy face for that. Something that has changed very significantly is Orlea. Essentially, Smilegate is telling us that they're tired of seeing showcases where the turn count is 78 and someone with an Orlea in the team is dealing 5 million damage, and they're tired of that. So they're putting a cap to the limit that Orlea's softy can buff us. I would say personally, in real world regular fight, this is not going to make any difference. And for meme showcase, it's going to be a no, it's over, but it is what it is. Some equipment from Season 3 got a few changes, but not only. Those that meddle with the action count of the enemy got changed a bit. Then these pieces of equipment listed on the left, some from the swamp, and a couple of them I don't remember ever getting them. The increase in attack percentage that we were providing was multiplicative, and it was wrong. It should have been added addictively. Oh my god, English is difficult. And so it's going to be a bit of a nerf, but they're still absolutely fantastic. Now, the main reason why I decided to make this video is the following part of the developer's note. Because if it ended here, it would have been something more or less regular. I would be very bummed about the Morales text, because it makes many of my save files completely botched, and it makes most of the Dream World save files completely useless. Or, you can still play Dream World to discard all your deck and just farm stuff very conveniently on autoplay, but you no longer have 40 stacks of morale with this. But whatever. Up until now, it's all good. And then we got destroyed. The Season 3 save files are getting obliterated. The excuse for Smilegate is they didn't playtest Season 3 gear and engraving enough, and the power level was too high, so these power level changes were necessary. In particular, there are some of these engravings that we all use in all our save files to some extent. On the Persona card, discard up to 2 for each discarded card plus 60% damage becomes for each discarded card plus 20. Or this one, where pretty much all our supports have this engraving twice on the Persona card, with 5 Lux engravings split among the gear, so that they provide an extra 150% damage to attack cards for one turn. It becomes slightly worse. It becomes 50% to all attack cards. Then let's go to this one. This one we want to get it for all our damage dealers. It goes from 30% to 20%. This one is going to make a lot of people mold, because this engraving, 30% damage to extra attacks of this unit one time per turn, could stack, and so many people spend endless hours farming save files with multiple of these for high damage. And suddenly it goes from 30% to 5%. So if you have 3 of these, it becomes a 5% damage increase on your extra attacks. Half of one. This one broke my heart, because I have 2 save files where my combatant has 3 of these engravings, the 50% damage amount to ally attacks for a turn. And I have countless save files where I have 2 of these on a combatant, and it goes from 50 to 15, meaning that an old save file per nerf, so the current one, with just 1 on this engraving is going to be better than a post-nerf save file with 3 of those engravings on the gear. Oh my god, everything got nerfed so much, so much. Like even this one, we always wanted to get it. I didn't notice the one that increases critical damage. That one dodged the bullet. Yeah, the one that increases crit damage by 15%. If you have, I believe, 15 cards in your graveyard, is safe. That one is safe, probably because it's not easy for everyone to activate it. But even this one got nerfed. 7 cards in the graveyard, 30% damage, becomes 7 cards in graveyard, 20% damage. Everything got nerfed so much. It's so bad. It's really a bummer. It makes sense because the way Season 3 was balanced was extremely poor. And the spike, if you think about base game Season 2 with the gear engravings and all that sort of stuff, Season 2 was better. Like your save files were better. You clearly had more multipliers here and there. But the gap between Season 2 and Season 3 was insane. And playing around with the Season 4 cards, the preview cards that we had for a couple of weeks now, made everyone feel that Season 4 cards, the mechanics were extremely underwhelming. And instead of reworking Season 4 to make it better than Season 3, they nerfed the Season 3. Was it a good decision? No, for me, no. Personally, since we're doing seasons, like Chaos Zero Nightmare has a season, make them strict seasons. And I don't remember if it was in Season 2 or Season 3, that at the beginning of the season they announced, oh, to make your life easier so that you can start to clear endgame content right away, you can use the save files from the previous season that you already have, and you clear stuff. And that felt nice. Like many people were happy, like, yeah, I don't need to grind the save files. But if I kept the same system available for season 4, everyone would be using season 3 save files, for sure. Personally, what I would have done is do not change anything in season 3. Nothing. Nothing needs to be changed. Make all content in season 4 require season 4 save files. Just like that. For me, it would have been a lot better. Like, no, you cannot clear endgame of season 4 on day 1 if you do not have save files of season 4. You cannot clear the basin if you do not have season 4 save file. You cannot clear the rift if you do not have season 4 save file, and so on. And with that strict limit in the duration of the life expectancy of save files within their season, it means that power level of each season per se will not be as relevant, because if season 4's mechanics and equipment are S, we're still going to farm them because we want to clear the content of season 4, and I'm expecting the season 4 enemies to be balanced around the power level of the season 4 cards and mechanics. And I think that would have been a lot better than just nerfing stuff for which people spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. I spent hundreds of hours on the season 4 save files, and to this day I'm still farming some of them. Now I'm stopping. I'm not touching season 3 ever again. Like, forget season 3. Like, what is this garbage? What do you mean from 15 to 5%? What do you mean from 50 to 15? Like, no, this is not okay, Smag. This is not okay. I do believe that the people who enjoy a game like Chaos Zero Nightmare, which is a seasonal, roguelike, card game, gacha card game, the true fans, those that really enjoy the game and play it as their main source of enjoyment on a daily basis, would not mind at all if for a season you had to use those specific seasonal cards and mechanics exclusively without being allowed to recycle all the stuff at all within that season. Because I don't mind doing. I really don't mind farming for new seasonal stuff, irrespective of the mechanics and the power level. I do mind when this happens to save files that have hundreds of hours on them. I believe I am at 1,200 hours, if not more, in Chaos Zero Nightmare. So I really spent an insane amount of time in this game. Nerfing this stuff on which I worked so much bothers me really, really, really a lot. I know that in the long run it's not going to matter, because in, 10 days, something like that, there is a season 4. I will be farming season 4 save file. I will not care about season 3 anymore. I will just be focused on season 4. Why do I have to nerf stuff on which we worked so much? This would be like in an MMO. I often mention Dark Age of Camelot because I've played Dark Age of Camelot for over a decade, and I have experience in that MMO while I have maybe 3 hours of gameplay in World of Warcraft. When a new, region or a new character was released, the old stuff was not getting nerfed. It was just getting power crept. Power creeping is okay. For me, that is part and parcel of gacha games in particular, but live service game in general, because the new stuff needs to be better, more exciting, more interesting than the old one. Nerfing the old stuff for me is a no. It's a big, big, big no, and it makes me very upset. It really bothers me a lot. I'm sure that 5 hours into season 4, I will not be concerned with this at all, but I wanted to make this video to share my thoughts about this giga nerf that for me were... I can say they were warranted, because by their own admission they didn't test season 3 enough and it ended up being too strong, but at the same time they were not necessary. there were other ways to handle this, in my humble opinion, to be quite frankly with you. But it is what it is. What is done is done. Hopefully we will get some I do believe there will be some big backlash regarding this, and I believe that eventually the compensation will be more than this. On Reddit, Twitter, and Discord, people will be complaining a lot about these changes. Bye and take care.